What's up, soul family? Greetings to you all, my beautiful kings and queens, divine feminines and divine masculines. Thank you so much for the energy. Thank you to all our new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. And if you're new, welcome to Soul Family Oracle. So, I don't know how long this message is going to be, but it's not even a download or a channeling. But Spirits was just like pushing me to come on and be an advocate for divine love, like just to come and be an advocate for divine love. It's almost like Spirit is asking me to put a petition out specifically to the divine masculines and to some extent to the divine feminines also. But this started really as a petition to the divine masculines. And I feel like in the ethers, in the spirit realms, there are so many energies and so many different factions of the spirit teams, like whether cosmic energy or ancestral energy or angelic energy or dark realm, workers like shadow workers who are actually light workers but in the dark realms. It's like so many of these different energies keep putting on me to advocate for divine unions and to advocate for divine love, because that time has come where it's so very important for the divine unions to come together. And two very important messages were coming through. It was like, one was saying about how, and I thought we weren't going to channel today, Spirit. One was saying about how the divine feminines in the ethers, in the spirit realm, have been very recognized to be doing a lot. And I'm hearing overexerting, to be doing a lot to the point where they are overexerting themselves in the physical realms. To the point where they are using, or let me say we, because I'm also a divine feminine, okay? Where we are using our spiritual status, spiritual roles, whether as healers, light workers, guardians, to encompass the whole of our lives. And this is happening because for a lot of us divine feminines, we are having to do these things on our own. In the sense that we are actively doing the works that we've been assigned to do in the spirit realm, and in the physical realm also, we are taking on a lot more work and allowing ourselves to keep doing and doing and doing. And the other part that was coming that's very important to this message was to the divine masculine. And what Spirit was saying was like, divine masculine, do not pay attention to the group of women that have tagged themselves as feminists without fully understanding the meaning of being a feminist. These group of women, in their search or bid for equality, and let me say that again, in their search for equality, have been misinformed and misdirected to take the title of feminists as what they are, not understanding that what they truly seek is equality. Now, when we speak of feminism, I've said several times I am not a feminist, okay? And I would usually say I hope this doesn't trigger anybody, but if you're a woman and this triggers you, please sign off. If this triggers you, the fact that I'm saying I'm not a feminist, please sign off, and might as well just unsubscribe to save yourself the trouble, because this will be coming up a lot of times. So a lot of people, a lot of women that have tagged themselves as feminist have been misdirected and miseducated from understanding the roles that we play individually as women and men. Now I'm just speaking of women and men, masculine and feminine, not divine masculine and divine feminine, because that's a whole nother level. Okay? And what Spirit was saying is, the things that some of these people think that they wanting to be able to have the right to choose what they want for their body, to make the decisions they want to make on their body, to choose what they do. It is just them wanting equality. However, the feminism, that tag feminism, feminist, means somebody that advocates for femininity to be in the forefront of everything else. And this is not to say that, women are supposed to be behind the scenes or in the back and men are supposed to. No, we are supposed to be on the same line, side by side. We are supposed to be on the same line, side by side. And so you have some people that even like that call themselves divine feminines, and then they say stuff like women are the first, women are the greatest, and we are the ish, and men are supposed to worship us, and women are this, and women are that, and women are supposed to be. That's not true divine femininity. True divine femininity understands the importance of equality and balance. Understands that there is nothing like one being above the other. Understands that in balance means we stand together side by side. Understands that this balance means that sometimes the woman takes lead and sometimes the man takes lead. Understands that in taking care of each other, it's a balanced energy. Same with true divine masculinity. Understands that it is balanced. We stand side by side. True divine masculinity understands that it is not the woman's role to be doing the cooking and the taking care of the kids and the washing and the dishes and all those things because, that's what you do and I go to work. No. They understand that the balance is she can cook and I can decide to clean. If she feels like doing all the cleaning and stuff like that, that's fine, but that is not because that is her responsibility. Understands that the woman's role in his life is as important as her role in his life. Understands that he is supposed to what? Protect her in all ways so that she can comfortably be the divine feminine that she's supposed to be, who is also the protector of the family in spirit. So this whole thing about feminism, feminist movement or whatever it's called, it's another thing that the powers that were allowed to sink into society in order to create division. So instead of preaching equality and balance with the divine feminine and divine masculine, what is being preached is that one is supposed to have a certain level of power that makes the other should conform to certain things. And then there should be certain rules that protect the other because they are not protected enough. Instead of making people understand that the balance of the two brings the protection that the woman needs and brings the healing or the comfort that the masculine needs also. And like I was saying, it's like a lot of different energies and the ethers, they are advocating for the divine unions to come together. But some women are so stuck in their head about what role they play. And some men are also stuck in their head about who the woman is supposed to be. And what I'm hearing with the masculines is right now, as women are stepping into their power and claiming more of their power and deciding to operate from this energy of power, it is putting a lot of masculines in fear because they were not, I don't want to use the word trained, but they didn't grow up seeing that balanced masculine feminine energy playing out in a way that becomes beneficial for the whole family. A lot of men have been used to or grew up seeing toxic masculinity, some seeing toxic femininity. A lot of women have grown up seeing disconnected femininity and disconnected masculinity. So when you speak of generations and generations going through these same thing, that is heavy conditioning. Conditioning, not just conditioning of the mind, but conditioning of the heart. And the other thing to note also is how a lot of different forces are against divine unions, are against the balance of the masculine and feminine energy, are against the coming together of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So with a lot of the things that have been done, part of the main focus has been to what? To break down the stance of the divine masculine and to break the stance of the divine feminine. Basically to break the stance of divine unions. Putting masculines in the position to not be able to become divine masculines, and putting feminines in the position to become toxic feminines. You have a lot of single mothers these days. So many single mothers, and this is no shade to like anybody that's a single mother, no. I'm just speaking of something that has been embedded in us for many generations, which is now becoming a big problem. You have a lot of single parents now, let me say, but no, let me say it as it's coming through. Again, if the message rubs you in the wrong way, then that's an obvious sign that this might not be the channel for you, because here I spit raw facts and truth. And I'm not one to sugarcoat what I need to say or what spirit is guiding me to say. So you're going to have to take it as it comes, with a grain of salt or without. And if you feel like it's choking you, you can sign off. So there's a lot of single mothers right now. And they're not single mothers because they chose to become single mothers. But somewhere deep down, during the process of conception or the process of like relationship and union and stuff like that, a lot of women put in their mind that a baby is a big part of the relationship, or that, having a child in the relationship without actually thinking of if this person is the right fit for them or their divine counterpart is okay. And I'll explain further. Divine feminine, divine masculine relationships are the type of relationships where you see the person beyond what you want from them. You see the person beyond what you expect from them. You see the person beyond what you desire of them. And so a lot of people are getting into relationships with people that they desire and expecting certain things from them. And then when they don't get those things, they settle for the things that they can get from them. And sometimes a child coming out of that relationship is like, oh, we had a great child. So, at least we have these beautiful children. Oh, at least this. But what that is creating is a lot of dysfunctional dynamics. And so a lot of people now that are being born into these dynamics have actually become the light workers that are being born into these dynamics, because it's almost like the universe is looking at everything like, for the law of balance, the only way that we can actually curb the rate at which people are giving birth without actually choosing themselves first and choosing the people they are with first, in order to actually benefit the children or the future of the benefit, the only way we can curb this, or the rate at which this is growing, is by putting the light workers in these channels. Putting the light workers in these dysfunctional relationships. Putting the light workers through these women, so that they can become a seed that grows to what? Abolish that energy, or abolish that kind of culture. And so you see a lot of light workers and light warriors are being born into dysfunctional family systems. And I'm not saying dysfunctional to say that somebody's family is dysfunctional just because, they are a single parent. No, that's totally not what I'm saying. So please don't take that out of context. For that, I would definitely say, don't take that out of context, because I don't mean to be disrespectful. I mean to speak my truth, but not to be disrespectful or to be misunderstood. Okay, so a lot of light workers and a lot of healers are being born into families where the dysfunction of the imbalance of the masculine and feminine energy is very predominant. so that they can be a channel for the Most High to what? Use to change these situations in these families and moving forward in these communities, these cultures, these things. And for the divine masculine, coming from this space where that energy of like toxic masculinity has been fed into them, they are being put in situations, or a lot are being born into situations where they are being made to see the other side of the divine feminine energy that they never had the chance to see, because this is what is allowing them to what? Open up their heart and to soften themselves to the universe and the divine, to take them from this superiority complex that so many of them were born into. And so now you have the rise of divine masculines that are actually in tune with their divine feminine energy, operating in balance with their yin and their yang, the masculine and the feminine energy. Divine masculines that are seeing the women that they want to be with, or seeing the relationships that they want to have with other women, not just as a means to procreation, or is it procreation, like, making babies, or as a means to satisfy certain urges or desire, like sexual desires and desires for company or boredom and stuff like that, but as a ladder to a higher sense of self, to a higher understanding of life, to a higher means of elevation. Understanding that this is part of them, of how they elevate. And so now, thankfully, we have a rise of divine feminine masculines that are not just having sex for play, are not just having sex for pleasure. As a matter of fact, some that are not even having sex at all because they understand the importance of their sacred energy, and they understand the importance of sex in general, and how they create karmic ties by being with the wrong women or by being with toxic feminines. And so thank God now you have the rise of divine masculines that are actually seeking relationships not as a means to companionship, but as a means to longevity, to legacy, to continuation, permanence, growth, stability. We have the rise of divine masculines that are seeing unions as an important part of their lives, where it's not like, I can just have this girl and then have that other one. Why would I settle for one when I can have that? You understand? Kimmy, Timmy, Tiara, Sandra. I don't know where that came from, but it was sounding in my head, and it sounded nicer in my head than it did when it came out of my mouth. You understand? So, and now, thankfully, we have the rise of divine feminines that are also understanding the importance of doing healing on themselves and becoming whole within themselves before getting into relationships, instead of using relationships and men as a means to survival, using men as some kind of swipe card, like just swipe, like when you're using a card, like you go to the restaurant and then you have to pay for your food, just use a card to swipe. So basically they just use the men for their money, or like, as a means to security or stuff like that. You have divine feminines that are thankfully now building themselves in the light of the divine feminine energy. And this is not again about saying, hey, I'm a pro-feminist, I'm a this, or like, I'm independent and I don't need any man. Yes, independence is a big part of becoming whole. Independence is a big part of the divine feminine energy, but it is also for the divine masculine energy. Independence in a healthy way, where it's like, I am whole within myself, I know who I am, I know what I have going on, and I am rooted in who I am, I am secure, I am stable, I'm not needing a man to come and fulfill those things in my life. But I do understand that I do want a certain caliber of man that will add up to this Not to make you this or to become that for you, but add up to it. Which means that when you come in union with that man, you become more, you become an increase of the more that you already are. So, again, like Spirit was saying, it's like divine masculine. Right now in this time, go find your divine feminine. Go find your kingdom spouse. And I'm not saying go find like go out and be dating this one and see who is, but no, like pray to the Most High, whoever God is to you. Speak to your spirit team. Manifest into your life that divine union, that kingdom spouse, that divine counterpart that is going to help you to build this kingdom business. Because in this new earth that we're moving into, the divine unions are the leaders of the new earth. The divine unions are the foundation of the new earth. And the children and the production that is going to come from these divine unions are going to usher in the new era of light. Where light workers are not being born into dysfunctional families anymore. Because we've lost, you see, we can speak of us that feel like, oh, we are light workers, we're healers, we made it to the other side, like, oh, we had a tough life, we were born into dysfunctional families, but we made it. We can speak of ourselves because we've made it this far. But trust me when I say that a lot of light workers and light warriors did not make it in this lifetime. A lot of light workers and light warriors did not make it in this lifetime. Some have been turned, some have lost their light, some have had to be unalived so they can start a new cycle because they didn't make it. Some were not able to survive dysfunctional families. Some were not able to survive toxic relationships. And so let's not look at where we've come right now and think, oh, the dysfunctional families that were made to make us stronger. And this is a time of survival. Light workers and light warriors were literally trying to survive in this time that we're in right now. But there's a time of utopia where light workers and light warriors are not meant to be born into struggle, but meant to be born into a position of leadership from birth, where their role starts from birth. Where their role is more about teaching and guiding instead of doing healing and breaking and mending and breaking and mending and breaking and mending. In this time right now, again, if you are divine feminine, please, I hope you are not stuck on the toxic side of the scale. Thinking, oh yeah, I don't need any man, I'm so independent, I have everything I need, a man is a hustle. And you don't need any man, yes, but you need a divine masculine. You don't need any man, yes, but you need your divine masculine. In this time right now, especially if the Most High has revealed to you that you have a divine counterpart, pray over your union, because these divine unions are so heavily attacked. And the dark forces that attack divine unions, it is not the government. It is not the policymakers. It is not the pharmaceutical mafia. They are much more darker energies and sinister energies, a brotherhood of darkness laying behind the scenes that infiltrates into humanity's plane and cause these people to do those things. These people are not running on their own energy. Like it says, we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but principalities and demonic entities. These people are just puppets and vessels of demonic entities that have plagued humanity from time. And one of the things that they realized would be the breaking of humanity was the separation of the divine feminine from the divine masculine. Putting a wedge between the divine feminine and the divine masculine means there will be no more rise of divine unions, which means the rise of golden children would be decreased, which means they would be able to now systematically break down the individual light workers and light warriors by putting them in that cycle. And that is why the universal cycle of balance and karma had to put the divine feminines or the light warriors and the light workers in the channel of these toxic energies as dysfunctional families, as dysfunctional communities, so they could become the light that seeps through these cracks and start a new cycle. This time that we're in right now, again, is a time for survival. It's a time of survival for light workers and light warriors. This was never our original timeline. This was never the original cycle that we were supposed to be in, of breaking and all those things. And what I'm hearing is like the time when Christ consciousness was established was part of those times where this dysfunction was placed or rooted in the energy of humanity. But that's a story that I'm going to get on to another day. Divine feminines, divine masculines. It's time to call in your divine unions. Because again, like the Spirit was saying in the beginning, kudos to the divine feminines. Because in the spiritual realm, in the ethers, the divine feminines are busting shit down. Like, in the ethers, divine feminines are really taking on the role of healers and light workers and light warriors, and they're really making some shit happen. Like, divine feminines, I'm so proud of the divine feminines, like the light warriors and the light workers, because in the spirit realm, you guys are doing some really wild stuff. Like, you're really taking on these missions, but it's taking a toll on you physically. It's taking a toll on us physically. It's taking a toll on us in the physical realms. It is taking a toll on us because the balance is not there, because our divine masculines are not there. And now more than ever, we need our divine masculines. Same way our divine masculines need their divine feminines. Pray over your union. Pray for the calling in of your divine counterpart. For some of you, you might need to fast and pray because the Most High has already shown you about your divine union, but somehow it's not coming in because there are a lot of different energies that are in the background pulling it apart, trying to break it apart, trying to stop it from coming in. Some of you will need to fast and pray and call in your divine masculine or call in your divine feminine, call in your divine union. For some of you, you are needing to pray for your divine masculine. Some of you, your divine masculine is stuck in dark energies and you're needing to pray to have them, to help them break through. And again, this is not about personal business. This is standing on kingdom business. This is not for us individually. This is for the collective. This is for our heritage, our legacy, our generations. So whoever doesn't like this message or the line of channeling that today was for, you can miss me. We can miss me with any BS that comes with it. Don't bother to put it in the comment section. Before, I would try to address people and just like spit fire, but these days I don't have the energy. So I'm just going to be removing any negative comment and stuff like that. I'm not removing the comment. I am blocking you from the channel so that we can continue to maintain ground for the collective that is truly part of this new earth mission. Because this new earth mission, it's not about divine feminine or divine masculine, or we are this, or we are that, or we were the first, or we are the strongest, we are the most spiritual. Nah. It's about balance. It's about divine unions. It's about coming into balance. It's about understanding that we both have a role to play that the other cannot fail. And this is what I was saying, like Spirit has been prepping a message for the collective that has been taking me through and teaching me and like really having me take my time to compile the message. And the message was saying that divine feminine, you need a protector and a provider. Divine masculine, you need a healer and a nurturer. This is not saying that you need somebody to be healing you, but the divine feminine energy is a healing energy that in her presence you receive healing. Not by her doing some healing work on you, but by her being her true self, by her standing in her power. She exudes healing. By allowing her to hold space for you, by listening to her word, by giving her the utmost respect that she deserves, you allow her to nurture you. And divine feminine, by letting your guard down and understanding that you are who you are, but in the energy of divinity, You need a provider and a protector. You allow the divine masculine to step in and be your protector also. To be your provider by understanding that independence doesn't mean that you have it all and you can do it all by yourself. You allow the divine masculine to come in and be a provider. Again, this is not a swipe card. This is not so they can be swiping for you or buying you things, but being a provider in the sense of providing you emotional security also. Providing you a safe space where you can what? Emotionally relax, where you can let your guard down and be your true self, where now you can finally allow your sacra to exude that sensuality for you to carry out the process and the missions that you need to carry out through your creativity, through your sensuality, through your sexuality, through your feminine energy, your softness. This is not to say that you succumb to some energy or you become soft. Now you are. No. You still are who you are. It doesn't diminish who you are. It doesn't diminish the role that you play in spirit. It doesn't diminish your role as a light warrior. It only enhances it. Because again, remember, everything is about balance. Everything is about balance. And this is why I'm going to continue to be an advocate for love. Continue to be an advocate for divine love and divine unions, for the coming together of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. But of course, you have to use your discernment. You have to tune in with your spirit team. You have to always take it to the Most High, especially when it comes to unions, because if you're a divine masculine or divine feminine, if you're a light warrior, light healer, you know that your divine union is tied to your destiny. So you have to receive guidance from the Most High and your spirit team when choosing your union or when settling for your union. You don't just choose by aesthetics. You don't just choose by looks. You don't just choose by status. You choose by divine guidance, divine accordance. All right, guys. Wow, 32 minutes. Yo, I thought this was going to be a short message, but I guess, yeah. As always, please listen with discernment. Take only what resonates and leave what doesn't. And if this message resonates with you, please like, share, subscribe to help us reach even more of our soul tribe. Have a blessed day, guys. Oh, and before I go off, I forgot to add how, like I was saying, my books were closed throughout the month. And I took only a few readings to close off the bookings. Moving forward, as promised for December and as part of my way of saying thank you to the Soul Tribe, I am going to be picking all those that put their birth dates in for a chance to win a free reading, and I'm going to be taking extra names, as a way to say thank you. Thank you to the tribe. Thank you so much for your likes, your shares, your subscribes, your comments. Thank you for your well wishes. We couldn't have gotten this far without you. This is a co-creation with spirit. This is a co-creation with the divine, but it has also been a co-creation with you. And to show my gratitude, my books are going to remain closed throughout December, but I'm going to use December to do free readings. And so if you put your name in or if you put your birth date in to receive a free reading, stay glued to the community tab, because I will soon be posting the list of all the people that have been chosen to get a free reading, and also the extra list for the free readings that I'll be doing as part of my gratitude for the Soul family this December. I love you guys so much, and I'm so appreciative of your support and your energy. To everybody that has booked a reading with me, to everybody that donated to the channel, to everybody that shared, liked, commented, subscribed, I am so grateful, and I send you blessings tenfold. I send you blessings tenfold. Have a blessed day, guys. I love you. I love you guys so much. And I think I don't say it often, but whoever knows me personally knows how much of a lover girl I am. and how much of a sucker for love I am, and especially the sisters I've connected with through readings. Like the number of sisters I have connected with through private readings that have become actual sisters, that have become friends, and I am so grateful for that. I can't imagine connecting with energies like yours, people like you. And as I'm saying this, I have your names popping up in my head, but I don't want to just speak out, because then if I don't remember some names, it's going to be as if I don't recognize them, or like, but you understand. But I don't know how I could have come in connection with you if not through this channel. And for that, I am so eternally grateful. And for the sisters, or for sisters that were strangers but have now become acquaintances also, or have just now become part of our, WhatsApp sisterhood, I'm so grateful for you also. All right, let me get out of here with my whole love love advocacy energy, okay? Have a blessed day, guys, and happy holidays.